Hi guys, welcome back. Now we have finished the part 1 of the video where we have fixed the entire servos and the motors and the frame and the landing gear. Now let us pick up the head. Now before we start inserting the head into the frame, I just want you to know a little bit few about the entire head and a few aspects about it. First of all, see to it that the entire head is moving smoothly, and the reason why I'll tell you is because there should not be any kind of binding across any of the linkages. If that happens, there will be a lot of stress on the servos, especially in the collective movement and the cyclic movement, and you might even end up burning the entire servos itself. So see to it that each and every part is smooth. And how you can do that is, I hope you have a balling plier like this. So what you need to do is just open up one by one each and every link. Now for example, this is the main blade holder. I just removed this link which connects to the seesaw arm, and this should be quite smooth. It should not be tight or nor it should be too smooth. I mean, not too loose is the right word. It should just be smooth. So you can see that this is a kind of a friction. You can just feel it. You can just move around with your finger and it should be as smooth as this. So this is the right way. And another major issue that I saw was this, what do you call as the seesaw arm here. This is the seesaw arm has been fixed wrong, in a wrong direction or wrongly from the factory. And this has to be reversed. So this entire seesaw arm has to be turned this way, and this has been stated in page number 2 of the manual, where you can see this part number 14, the part number 14, which is the seesaw arm. This is how it should be, and this is where you can see the assembled unit is. However, if you see this is fixed in a wrong manner. Simple as that. Maybe it's an issue with my kit. You might have it correctly in your kit, but I would prefer, please go through it. Please see also whether you have the factory has fixed it wrong. It's quite easy. You just have to remove the screw, remove this ball link, and just reverse it and turn it and fix it back again. So if you get any of our kits in this manner, let me just try to, yeah, exactly. I hope I can focus here in this manner here. Yeah, and we see a straight line on the top and the V is at the bottom, then there is an issue. It should be on the other way around. It should be like this. The bottom should be flat and the top should be in a kind of a V shape. So please be careful with this. Now it's quite simple how to change this. So you can remove one of the ball links from the main blade holder, then come to the seesaw arm. Here I've already removed one, and from here the link that goes all the way to the swash has also got to be removed. Let me just start by removing that. And always please use a proper ball link plier. Otherwise you might end up actually doing more harm to the heli. Let me try to get some space here. Yeah. See, I have removed this, and preferably you know what we can do is, let us remove the entire head itself and go through piece by piece. So let me finish off by first removing the collar, and let me remove the swash. For the swash you need to remove all these 4 links here. 1, 2, and if somebody doesn't have a ball link plier, use a what do you call a nose plier, but very carefully use one end of your nose plier, let it fix here at the other end on the plastic, and just very carefully pry it open. So 3, and the last one is, yeah, so here the swash plate comes off, and then we have the flybar cage. This is a flybar cage. that comes off, let the links also come out, we don't have any problem. Here we have the seesaw arm with the washout hub. Let me also remove this, and let me also remove these links. Yeah, so you can see this is how it is, and this seems to be quite smooth enough, but except that the factory has fixed this part in opposite direction. So it's as simple as that. Pick up your Phillips screwdriver and go ahead and start opening this carefully, and yes, let this come out. We don't have to worry about that anything. We don't have to worry about anything much there. So let me also open this one too. So here you go. Now let me open the balling plier. Okay, be careful with the small washers. Lovely. Here you go. There you go. So it's quite simple. Now what we need to do is we need to remove the ball links from here and fix it on the other side. So we need to open the ball link here. And fix it in this direction. Again, don't over-tighten it. Go easy on this. And you know what? Let me not waste the video time here. I will go ahead and fix these in the right direction and come back to you within a few minutes. Okay? As you can see that I have fixed the seesaw arm in the right directions now. It's simple as that. Here you can see there's a kind of a small indent or a cut here. This arms will be facing to the opposite, and the flat one is where the ball links or the balls will be fixed here. And once you open this up earlier, you could also see there could be some two washers here. One washer, one of the seesaw arms, and a screw. So this is what you get once you open it up. So what you do is now go ahead and pick up the arm, not the arm, sorry, my mistake, the entire head assembly here, and take one of these arms, place the screw through this hole here through the bearings, and don't forget to insert this small washer here, this small washer through the screw. So you've got the washer here, you've got the screw here, and here is the longer part of the seesaw arm, and here is the shorter part. So take the head, and once you take the head, you can see that there is a small hole here, and go ahead and screw it in this direction. Let me do that now as we speak. Here. Yeah, and let it move smoothly. Again, don't over tighten. Of course, let it not be loose either. This is a bit too tight. I'm just gonna, fantastic. This is how it is, and even the seesaw should move freely. So the same manner, I would also propose that you please go ahead and fix this in this. Let me keep this aside. In this manner. Okay, and this again has been clearly stated. Again, let me come back again. This has been stated how the entire assembly should be, and the process of fixing this on page number 2 of the manual. As you can see, I have fixed the seesaw arm and on both the sides, and This seems to be absolutely fine, and you can see the ball link is aligning with this here, which is also the right way that should be fixed. The ball link is also aligning here. That means the short arm here is facing the ball on the main rotor head. Same thing here, the short arm here. Here's a longer arm, this is a shorter arm. Shorter arm will be facing the ball on the main rotor. Now, if it is on the opposite direction, just remove the stopper and you can turn it around, but this is how it should be. And again, as I stated earlier, go through the manual. Now, keeping that aside, let's pick up the flybar cage. Now, this is what we had removed earlier. Now, let me go ahead and remove this part too, so that we can just focus on the flybar cage. Lovely. Now, this is the flybar cage made of plastic, and there's two aluminum parts. Now, again, if you look closely on your flybar cage, the center here from this distance to this is shorter, and the distance from the center to here is longer. Same thing here, from the center to here is shorter, from the center to here is longer. And again, one more important thing is, if you look at the diameter of this part is much more thicker. The diameter here is more, it's a wider diameter, and this is a thinner diameter or a smaller diameter. So the thickness, that means the thickness is smaller, the thickness is larger here. And what I also saw in my flybar cage was, this was too tight. This link was too tight. So what I did just a few minutes back was, I went ahead and opened the screw very carefully. There was a lot of Loctite, but I had to just put a little bit of hot soldering iron here, not for too long, otherwise it will melt the plastic here. I kept it for a few seconds here, and I used a proper good quality star screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver, and I just loosened both the screws and removed this. Now, do not push the ball link on this side to open, because this will not come out. As I told you, this is a thicker diameter, this is a bigger diameter. The ball link will only come from here. So it's simple as that. Just hold this, and let me try to see if I can do this again here. Yes, this is the way it should come out. This is the way it will come out, and this is the way, exactly the same way it should go in. And what I did was, at this point of time, I took my Dremel, and let me see if I can get my Dremel to show it across to you. Let me pause the video for a minute, once again. Alright, this is the Dremel I was talking about. This is my Dremel that I had, and I took one of these buffing tools and I just buffed this part here. And also, if possible, try to invest in a ball link reamer. I hope I have a ball link reamer somewhere here. I will show you where the ball link reamer is. Give me a few minutes again, please. Now, this is a ball link reamer. This is what I had for my 450 heli, 4.7 mm. It comes in this fashion here, if you can see here. And what you do is, if you have this, please go ahead and insert it inside, and there's a certain way that it goes in. It will not go through here. There's slightly larger opening here on this side. So push it inside. I think it's in this way. Yeah, and just turn it. So once you turn it, what happens is, you can see there's a kind of a small cut here on the ball here. So this will actually go inside this unit here, and it will actually remove all the small pieces of burrs of the plastic. Okay, so this is a ball link reamer. If possible, try to invest in this if possible. Or if you don't have a ball link reamer, what you can do is, you can pick up from any of the hobby store an extra ball here, and take a blade and cut marks on this, so that it becomes a kind of a rough part here. And then you can go ahead and insert it in the link which you want, and turn it, and it will actually make the hole slightly larger and become much more looser. So this is what I have done, and I will also go ahead and as what I did earlier was, I actually went and buffed this also here. So this seems to be more smoother, and again, as I told you, the same way. Yes, it is fixed. So this seems to be extremely smooth now. So this is absolutely fine, and this is the way you should actually go ahead and install the entire flybar cage. Now with this over, I will go ahead and fix these units on the main rotor. So I've got the flybar cage, which is quite smoothened and it is ready to go inside the rotor head now. So it's as simple as that. Take this across and just place it inside in this direction. And of course, take the washout base that you have here. And in the washout base, you can see there is one side which is flat, and the other side there is a kind of a protrusion coming out here. This protrusion, which I hope you can see this protrusion will go at the bottom, and this will be facing on the top. The bottom will be facing towards the swash plate. So it's as simple as that. Take this and push this across through the main shaft in this manner. Okay, and with this here, and once again, absolutely. And now with this, you please go ahead and fix the ball links here. It's a matter of just clipping it together. This is quite simple. And again, please do refer to manual page number 3 and 4 if I'm right. That's it. So this entire unit is almost ready. And later what we will do is, we will pass the flybar rod through here, and we will see to it that the flybar cage is properly in place. So this part of the entire head assembly is finished. It seems to be quite smooth here. There's no binding, which is great. Now later it's as simple as that. Go ahead and pick up the swash plate, insert the swash plate in this direction, and start fixing the links. Now the links go in any manner you can go ahead and do it. This is the washout base arm. This is fixed, and this is also fixed. Now I'll go ahead and pick up the larger arms here, which we will have to remove later just to measure. But these are the larger arms, the longer arms. So we will go ahead and fix this one here at one point, and the other point we'll fix on the swash plate. So give me a few minutes. Let me fix everything up, and I'll come back to you within a few minutes, and I'll go through the entire process once again. So we have the entire head assembled now, and all the linkages are fixed, and all of them seems to be moving quite smoothly here. The linkages from the main rotor head to the flybar seesaw arm has been fixed. The linkage from the flybar cage to the washout arms have been fixed, and also the linkage from the flybar seesaw arm to the swash have also been fixed. And each and every linkage has been tested across, and also, as I stated earlier, I had to use some Dremel at this point to get a little bit smooth so that the link becomes quite smooth and move freely. So I believe you should do this, and then if you look at it, the entire heli seems to be absolutely fine to do the next step. And you also got a collar here. Now again, as you see, the collar has got two faces. The first on the top is quite flat, and at the bottom on this side and on this side, let me show it to you. Yeah, and on this side there's a small ridge here. The ridge should be facing towards the bottom, and the flat side will be facing towards the swash plate that is on the top. For the time being, just go ahead somewhere here on the top and just very loosely tighten the grub screw. That is all. Now the entire head is ready. Now we can go ahead and start inserting the flybar rod now. And let me go and pick up the packet that contains the flybar rod. I have got package number 8 Hiller. This I have just opened it, and here you will see that there is a tail boom. But once you open up the packet, there are quite a lot of other things in this packet. So let me move this packet, and in the tail boom, you will find few other parts. You will find 2 carbon fiber rods. These are the tail boom support holders. You will also find one more carbon fiber rod which is quite thin. This is the tail pitch push rod. And then you will find the flybar rod. And also you have got 2 weights here. This weights are actually used for beginners. This will add more stability when you're doing your cyclic movements, when you're pushing ailerons and elevator. So the sensitivity of the heli is less, and the heli will become more predictable when you fly. So specifically for beginners, if you're a beginner, try to use these weights. We'll come to that later when you start fixing it. If not, if you're actually advanced, you want the heli to be more agile, you want to be more fast, and you want to roll and do 3D a little bit more faster, then remove this flybar weights. So let's begin by just removing this. They've got grub screws here and here. Just loosen them, this will come out, and please don't lose any of these grub screws, because I'm not too sure if you get anything extra in this packet. Done. So let me keep these aside, and let me pick up the head. And if you see that the flybar cage needs to be fixed properly on the flybar arm base here, and we need to push the flybar rod through this slowly. Again, the process is quite simple. You just have to align this properly. Yep, this part has gone through. Here you go. So here's the flybar rod which is fixed, and you can see there are grub screws here on the flybar cage. There is 1, 2, 3 and 4. For the timing, just go ahead and tighten them little bit. Don't over tighten them as usual, just slightly, so that it holds the flybar rod and the flybar rod doesn't come off. Here we go. So this literally completes your entire head. We will do the measurements, we'll keep the flybar paddles and the weights, which we have got these weights etc. later. But for the time being, I've just kept it loosely here. And then we will go ahead and start inserting the main shaft through the main bearing block of the frame and start fixing the main gear. I have the main gear here with me, and in the main gear unit, if you remember, there was this screw and the nut which was already fixed. So what we need to do is we just need to remove this out so that we can start placing this entire thing in the frame, and the main shaft has to go through it. So let me just quickly remove it. And this collar, this brass collar, is extremely important, this one, and this has to go on the top of the main gear, and this main gear will have to be inserted in this manner. Now what you need to do is carefully, you need to see to the collar is already inserted, and the hole here is aligned with the main bearing block. So carefully you need to align it in such a way. This will take a little bit of a juggling around. And once this is fixed, what you need to do is take the main shaft and push the main shaft through. And also, if you can see that the main shaft has got a hole here, this hole should align with this hole. So the screw should go through the main gear, through the main shaft, and then it should come out from here, and then we'll fix the nut. So again, with the washer on the top, we will have to just slide it into the frame like this. Okay, and you can see that the gear is meshing with the tail drive unit here. And then we take the main shaft and push this inside slowly. Now it will take a few moments for me. I will go ahead and fix this. and I would also suggest you do the same, and we will come back after a few minutes. As you can see, I have fixed the main gear properly and everything seems to be in place, and the screw, as I stated earlier, goes through the entire main gear, through the main shaft, and also the nut is fixed properly. You can see that here in the video. And the auto rotation gear seems to be meshing properly with the tail drive unit. So everything seems to be in place, not a problem at all. So, and one more thing I forgot to tell you was I did not have to do anything with my pinion, as I can see the pinion goes and meshes with the main gear, which we will do that in a few minutes when you start pushing this front and back, and we'll do the meshing in a few moments right now. And one more thing is, you can see that the bearing has come up here from the main bearing block. This bearing, don't worry about that, you just have to push it inside, hold the main shaft from the bottom in this manner. I'm just holding the main shaft from the bottom and just pushing the bearing from the top here so that it seats in its proper place. Let me just push it. Yeah, I think it is gone properly, seems to be in place now. Yeah, so this is in place, and what you need to do now is, you can see this collar here, you just loosen the collar and slightly get it down, and see to it that this is in flush with the top main bearing block. So press and hold this collar down and push the main shaft from the bottom. So I hope I can show this to you. So you can see the main shaft which is coming out from the bottom here. Press and hold that, and from the top press and hold the collar and press it so that this entire thing is sandwiched in between. Then go ahead and tighten this. Of course, you need to put Loctite. For demo purposes, I'm not doing it right now. I'm not placing Loctite, but I will do that eventually. But you please go ahead and place a drop of Loctite and just press this thing and see to it this entire thing is in proper place, and this seems to be absolutely fine. Now the main gear or the bearing will not come out, so this will be seated in place. Now with this everything done, let's go ahead and mesh the motor pinion to the main gear. So what you do is, this entire motor mount is movable, as you can see. Slightly push it inside and hold it in place and turn the main gear by your hand. This is a good movement. You can see this, you can hear. So this is absolutely fine. It should be properly meshed. Push it properly inside so that there's no gear slippage, etc. And once you get this kind of mesh, you can go ahead and tighten these screws. So let me check again. Yeah, this seems to be fine for me. So I will push this in place properly. Forgot to get the 1.5, and I'll tighten them. Here I don't think so you need to put any Loctite, because you might have to again tighten and loosen them later as we go, because this after every 10 flights or 5 flights, please do check up if the motor has come back or front, and accordingly you please go ahead and loosen and move around the motor mount front and back. And sometimes be very careful, these screws, they strip, so please use a good quality hex driver and tighten them. So I reckon this is properly meshed now. Yeah. So that's it about the head. So now the next part, what we can do is part 3. Let's start fixing the entire tail unit, the tail boom, the tail servos, tail push rod, the pitch of the tail, etc. that comes in the next part. So this is a good build till now. And after that, part number 3, let's pull out a transmitter. We'll use our RCB OS10 as a transmitter to set up this entire heli, and let us take through those steps one by one. Okay, thank you guys, thank you for watching. This is the end of part 2.